Welcome to the Post Up. This is your new weekly NBA show where three friends will cover everything from the association. Shout out to GoldBoys Sports Network for taking care of everything in the background for us, so we don't have to do all that. Introductions before we get into the playoff picture, which is fucking electric right now. First off, main man, favorite player is Dylan Brooks. Ryan Dolan, what's up, dude?
Recovering from a James Harden suspension currently. I can't quite believe my eyes. I thought Joel had a pretty good chance of getting ejected. I didn't think there was a chance that Harden should have gotten ejected for that. So I don't know. Everything's a little ass backwards right now. I'm a little torn on how to feel. But yeah, that was wild, man. I just severely disagree with that ejection.
Can't cup check in the NBA. Them's the rules. Third man rounding out this three-man booth here. Main man, Celtics fan, Dylan Bond. Favorite player is Troy Bolton. What's up, dude?
Hello. What's up? Let's go Nets. Am I right, Dylan?
Shut up.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Dylan, what did you think about this Harden ejection and the non-Embiid injection before we get into the other playoffs?
Well, the NBA is rigged, clearly. But Harden obviously deserved that ejection. He should be suspended in games, like Dylan said earlier. It's ridiculous.
Facts. Yeah, Dolan did say that off air earlier.
Embiid's flop, he should be suspended forever from the NBA. It's ridiculous. The biggest man on the floor, and he ran into a guy and he fell over. Ridiculous.
Dirty play by the Nets.
Yeah, softy.
These are all absolute facts. If we feel like we're going a bit quicker today, it's because we're trying to not waste an hour and a half of your day, 2 hours of your day. We're trying to keep this to about an hour, and we got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with this 76ers net series right now. Well, actually, pause on that. Why the fuck do we have two games tonight at 10 o'clock?
Ridiculous.
I don't know.
The best games, too. Literally the best games.
Arguably the best two series that we have. Obviously, now Kawhi's out. So that kind of trumps the Suns and Clippers series ever so slightly. But yeah, arguably the best two series we have in this postseason. And there goes game starting.
I played Clippers money line this morning, and then Kawhi is ruled out. So I was real happy about that.
This is absurd. You should know what we're talking about if you listen to this podcast, to be honest with you. But if you don't, the Philadelphia-Brooklyn game is on at 7:30 Eastern. Dolan, Dylan, and I are all Eastern Standard Time. This Philly and Brooklyn game is on at 7:30, and then we have to wait all the way until 10:30 for the two best games of the night, which is a bit absurd. But let's start off with this 76ers net series. You're losing right now by 5, Dolan, but how are you feeling overall?
I think it's taken quite a lot for them to even be up. Now it's 3. I'm not too concerned. I'm not really thrilled with how Philly's played today, but I mean, overall, I'm not sure Brooklyn's best chance is to double Embiid like they have been doing. I feel like let Embiid get his twos. He's going to score. Just let him get his twos and just do what you guys have been doing and try, I don't know. I disagree with the Embiid doubling like every single touch. Now, I get you want to make other guys beat you, but we have those guys that can step up and beat you. And Maxi's done it once and looks like twice today if we could pull this off. And then Harden did it game 1. So I don't know. It's weird. I honestly thought we'd see an adjustment from Jacques Vaughn in this one, and they wouldn't double Embiid so aggressively. But man, they sure have. But shout out Tyrese Maxey because he's just fucking awesome, man. He's been great this game. He was so good last game. So like I said, they're kind of forcing somebody else to beat them other than Embiid. But the other guys that can beat them can score from 3 and things like that. Like, as far as I'm concerned, one of my biggest fears coming into the postseason is that the Sixers they're gonna score 2s a lot of the time because all of our offense goes through Embiid. And if we catch a team that gets hot from 3, we're gonna be in trouble because we're gonna have a hard time keeping up. But like Brooklyn won't even really allow that style to come to play. So
yeah,
I don't know. Like I said, we have guys that can step up and pull this off for us, and we've had one guy do it every game so far. So hopefully somebody can do it again here.
First 2 games First game was pretty much a blowout, 20 point victory for for Philly. The second one was a bit closer, but I never at any point felt that Philly was going to let that one slip, to be honest with you. I just felt like the entire time, felt like through the entire series so far, they've had a pretty good control of this game. Sucks we don't see Ben Simmons out on that floor, Dolan.
Shut up.
I'm not even kidding. I fucking wish this guy was out there playing. That would be so awesome. But Dylan, you got any thoughts about this Brooklyn 76ers series?
Yeah, I actually disagree with Dolan on certain things. I think that
we need more disagreements.
I think that
You
their
fucking
game
idiot.
plan is actually I think their game plan is actually good. I mean, I'd much rather Tyrese Maxey with the exception, but I feel like all year you guys haven't had that other person be consistently there. You have all year has been inconsistent. So like I think the issue for the Nets hasn't been their defense, it's been their offense. They cannot score. They just keep taking turns playing one-on-one for the most part. So I think their game plan has been for defense has been solid. They just don't have the weapons on offense. And that's why I'm really glad they put Cam Thomas in this game because heck, I can go off for 40 super randomly sometimes. So thought it was a potential plug. But I think that me watching a lot of these games because odds are the Celtics will play the Sixers next round. I'm curious on what the Celtics do because I think Harden made 7 threes in the first game and then he hasn't done anything since. He played well today, I guess.
Yeah,
but Maxey's
well.
solid. I'll give him Maxey's credit. Good, but I'm going to give PJ Tucker, even though he beat us the Celtics last time. But I'll give PJ Tucker and Tobias Harris open threes.
I feel that. Not a terrible take.
I think one thing that makes me, I don't want to say nervous, but like looking at just the Sixers itself is that them playing this way is giving the other people potential confidence to make it harder for the Celtics if they play. So I think that is a potential take, but I think the Nets defensive game plan is solid. I mean, holding Embiid to 20 points, that's absurd. How many times has he scored 20 points this year?
Yeah.
What's he got tonight? 12 right now?
Not a bad take. Yeah, I believe so.
Woof.
Yeah, 12 points, eight boards right now.
Yeah, solid work from Philly so far. Interesting game plan that they got going on. Thoughts on Brooklyn? Got to get at least one, right? I mean, if you don't get this one tonight, it's going to be hard to keep going. I mean, to be fair to Brooklyn fans out there, got to have this one. I mean, this is if you don't, it's going to be hard. Even if you win the next game, then you're going back to Philly and you're going to get fucked. So like, you got to get this one, right?
Yeah,
so
I mean,
this is
take this.
Yeah, closest you're going to be, especially with Harden out. Like this is the moment right here. Got to. But I don't know, man. Like I said, for me, first 2 games, it just felt like Philly were in complete control the entire time and had no problems. Thoughts on? I asked you guys this off air. Thoughts on Cam Johnson?
So solid role player. I don't think he's going to be great. I think he's someone who could light up a stat sheet every 5th or 6th game. Solid role player, but not a difference maker.
I think he's a little beyond that. I'm kind of foggy on role player / starter. Like I see that as 2 different things a lot of the time. I think Cam Johnson's he's a legit like starting player in the league. I think that's like a tier above role player, if that makes any sense. I think he's a legit starter. He is quite a bit inconsistent. He's kind of been thrusted into somewhat of a number 2 role here for this offense. I don't think he's quite ready for that, but I think he'd be a really solid 3 or 4.
I asked selfishly because I don't know why, but I see a lot of Pistons links to this guy. I paid attention to him quite a bit. I'm unfortunately I'm going to middle what Dylan and Dolan just said. I think he's in between that. Don't really know. He's got to have. I don't think this is fair judging him for this series because it's been not this series but this year because it's been so weird with all his new teammates that he's got. But he could be a bench player. He could be like 3-4 on a really good team. I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea why he'd want to come to Detroit though. But anyway, I've liked what I've seen from this guy. Bridges though, build a team around this guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, in my notes, I have like he looks like a legit number 1 option to me. I don't know if he's a number 1 option that can win, but I did like that in game 2 when his shot wasn't falling. He pulled off a 7-assist game, so like he's finding ways to at least keep his team competitive. Obviously, they're not winning; they're down 0-2 so far. But I've been impressed. In the game they shot really well. He shot 66% from the field. And in the game that he struggled, he found ways to get his teammates open. So, I don't know if he's a number 1 option on a team that has like long-term success, but like, if you told me
too, right?
Yeah. If you told me he was going to be doing shit like this at the beginning of the year, I would have laughed at you. So I got to give credit where credit's due. I'm very, very impressed.
For sure. Great for Brooklyn. Go ahead and go to good haul.
Yeah, I think that he needs some growing to do. I think he forces a lot of shots. I think he needs to find a way to get easier buckets. Like he's constantly taking those like fadeaway things. He hits them a lot, but it's like finds a way to get some easier buckets. I think he could definitely average like potentially top 5 in scoring.
You think that's fair though? What like why he's kind of altered his game? Because coming from Phoenix, he was just such a different his role. I don't know if he's different. He wasn't a different player, but his role was so different. So does that kind of make, or do you just think that's just the way he is?
No, I mean, I think it's obviously it's an adjustment. I don't think he was expecting this. I don't think he was expecting to have to come out and take almost 30 shots a game by any means. So it's like, I mean, they give him the green light. So if I'm him, I'm having a freaking blast because it's nothing like playing pickup basketball and you just get to shoot every time we touch it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they definitely give him the green light on it. And like you said, him getting the assist is big. It shows growth already as a player. And obviously a playmaker. And obviously, I mean, he's been a defense guy. I mean, he's been a 3-and-D guy since in there. So obviously he's already really good on half of the ball. So, and he's very good at the other half too. So, I mean, I think he's definitely an all-star next year. I don't see him being a number one option on let's say a top 4 team on each side, but I could definitely see him a number one option. I mean, he's the number one option on the 6th seed right now. So,
yeah. But again, a damn good too, if that's what it becomes.
It's a fake 6th seed though.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's again, like we said a moment ago, this is the one that Brooklyn has to get now with James out for this game. Gotta get this win here because even if you get the next one, like you're gonna go back to Philly and you got to rattle off 3. I mean, that's gonna be tough. So I kind of hoping I'm hoping for Brooklyn to at least make this interesting. I just don't, like I said, I felt like the first 2 games Philly really had a pretty firm grasp on what was going on. I think they're gonna be fine here. Let's move on to same Dolan.
Yeah, even if Brooklyn does pull this one off, not too concerned right now.
Yeah, I truly would not be either. Let's move on to who they will play. The winner of the Boston Atlanta series. Dylan, thoughts on these spankings of 2 games? We said it a couple weeks ago. I think it was the second episode of the of this here pod. If you haven't checked that out, go listen to it. We talked about Trae Young and how his game was made for the playoffs. Is it made for the playoffs?
Overrated. Shout out Celtics fans for chanting that. But I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about on this. I mean, the Celtics are obviously just a way better team than this. The Hawks have talent. They're still trying to learn how to play together. But I mean, Derek White is doing literally whatever he wants to in the freaking paint. And it's kind of absurd. Also, shout out Malcolm Brogdon, 6th man of the year, my guy.
Was that who cares?
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, right.
Who did you picked Quickly, didn't you?
I actually don't even remember who I picked. I thought Quickly was going to win. I think I made a bit of a case for Brogdon in the sense that Quickly's stats were so inflated from his starts rather than Brogdon was just truly more so a 6th man. I think I picked Quickly. It was more so out of expectation than opinion, though. So I think they got this one right technically.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I think I picked. I think I picked Bobby Portis just to be different from what because I thought you were going to go Brogdon.
I don't understand why Norman Powell wasn't in the mix on that. We don't have to get in on that, but he's
a really good question.
I think he missed like the last 11 games or 11 games towards the end or something like that. But
yeah, I think he missed 22. We talked about this a little earlier in the week. He missed 22 games and he started 8 or so. So 50 off the bench roughly. So I don't know. I guess that kills your case. But I mean, didn't Brogdon miss some time? How many games did Brogdon
I think he played
then?
65 games this year.
That's not bad. I mean, that 15 game cushion's pretty solid. So I'm not too mad at that.
Yeah, I think so.
You're spot on though, Dylan. Super impressed with your boy Derek White over there.
Yeah, I mean he's
fucking balling.
Yeah, he's doing whatever he wants to. I mean, he's attacking like every single time he gets just a little bit of space, he's attacking. He's taking care of the paint like hardcore. I mean, the Celtics, Dolan mentioned multiple times the way Celtics play is shooting threes, and they are dominating the paint in this series. And I think that it's good to see that they can win in multiple ways. I think that's a big thing because a lot of times in the playoffs, people try to take away. Like if you play one way, they try to take that away, obviously. So giving that, especially like, I'm not going to dive into too deep, but they had the 2 big lineup last year, and this year they played 5 out. So it's like they're having the balance of being able to do both. And Derek White being at starting lineup has worked out, and then getting Al Horford at the 5, getting Clint Capella out of the paint. I mean, Clint Capella has been invisible all freaking series. as in 2 games. But I mean, Tatum's been well. They just played well. I mean, it's a big talent jump, but I don't see a chance the Hawks win 2 games. I mean, to win a game, they could get hot at home. And I mean, anything's possible. I mean, NBA players, they're still really good at basketball, so they could definitely come out there and do some stuff. But if I had to put money on it, which my streak of putting money on sports has been pretty bad the last couple of days, but I would definitely say the Celtics win. They'll be advanced Sunday. So
Tatum been balling as we expect. Got his shoes today. They are extremely comfortable, very comfortable shoes. So, shout out Jason Tatum, dude. A little bit of breaking news here. Claxton has been booted out of this Philly Brooklyn game for taunting a Embiid dunk. Pretty idiot. I mean, absolute idiot. You got to have this one. You know you're on attack. Don't be getting a second one. No, I agree. Dolan, you got any thoughts on this this Boston Atlanta series? I mean, pretty much exactly what we expected, right? Dylan, you and I said gentleman sweep, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to give somebody a game.
Yeah, let me see. Dylan said Celtics in 5. Mm-hmm. Michael said Celtics in 5. I said Celtics in 6. Which I'm my opinions after seeing games 1 and 2 has slightly changed. I don't really see the Hawks home floor changing too much. They're just severely outmatched. They might be able to steal one. The big thing between this year and years past is like you guys remember Trey in that New York Knicks series several years back, and this guy looked like he was made for these moments, and now it's like the exact opposite. Like he looks terrible, and I think the biggest thing is his 3-pointer has vanished from him this year. I think he shot 38% last year. He's down to 33% this year, and so far through these 2 games in the postseason, he's shooting 23% from 3. He is not, obviously, he's not big. He's not a physical guy. Like he needs to find that deep shot for them to even win a fucking game, much less the series. So I don't know what happened to his jumper, but if he ever wants to make noise in the postseason in his career, he better find that bad boy quick.
I feel weird about Trae Young, man, because I feel like when you go back and watch that Knicks series, a lot of his shots were significantly closer to that 3-point line. I feel like that, and some of them came from the logo. He's being cocky, but I think that cockiness has gotten his way a little bit. I feel like almost half of his shots come 6 feet beyond the 3-point line. Like he's so far out there.
Yeah, that's
dude
true.
Thinks he's Steph sometimes. Do you think Murray's getting in his way a bit? I mean, I think quietly. I mean, everybody's going to talk about the Celtics and, because they expected the Celtics to win. But I think Murray's had a very good series, man. I don't think this guy's put a foot wrong the whole time. You think Murray's getting in Trae's way? Because, again, you're right, Dolan. We thought, after that Knicks series and after, taking no banter at all, after taking Atlanta to an Eastern Conference Finals, we thought, oh, we've got a fucking Steph regen here. And now, I don't know, man. It's been a weird year for this guy. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? Is DeJounte Murray getting in Trae's way, and is this a real pairing?
Yeah, perhaps he is. I was pretty unsure of the fit when I heard that this was even a thing initially. I think this season's just further proved our point because, I mean, they played a hell of a lot of games together. You would think if they were going to figure it out, they probably would have done it by now. And there doesn't seem to be any real cohesiveness between the two as far as winning games. I mean, they could both put up their stats and both have good games at the same time, but it hasn't led to wins. I mean, it's gotten them this far, which is not not the worst season in the world by any means, but I don't know. There's some pretty good talent on this team. So I think a first round exit would be somewhat of a disaster.
Yeah, no, I agree. Dylan, thoughts on this? I mean, I know you're stoked on the Celtics, but thought on this Hawks team?
Yeah, I see that obviously it hasn't been working this so far. I think them getting Quinn Snyder and having a full offseason with Quinn Snyder, I'd want to see that first before I make any drastic decision because they're both so good players. So it's like you don't want to try and blow that up if it could potentially work out. I think the way Nate McMillan coaches, he coaches kind of like an old school type game, not a present day type basketball. And Quinn Snyder definitely coaches for more present day. So I think that it's going to make a difference. I'm not saying it's going to work, but I think they're too talented to at least give up on it yet. Maybe around the trade deadline, give them a full offseason with Quinn, see what they can get together.
Yeah, on your point there with Nate McMillan, I mean, he came out and said it himself. He said, "I feel like the game's passed me by. This younger generation, I don't click with anymore." So, might be spot on. I don't know if Quinn will be able to do that, but you're right, man. There's significant talent on this team, And Dylan and I talked off air about this. So, I mean, these guys haven't put it together all year. What team do we see put it together in the playoffs? It just doesn't happen very often there. So let's
We got
move
some
on.
big Sixers actually going on right now.
Yeah, we do. I mean, Philly has taken the lead here. I mean, this is 37 seconds left. They are up by
Fucking
3.
Maxey, baby.
Maxey been balling all game long. What's he got right now, Dolan?
Honestly, went fairly quiet in the second half. Oh, no, he's up to 25. I think he's scored quite a few buckets since we started this. Yeah. Oh, he just rattled off an 8-0 run by himself.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That'll do it.
Yeah. PJ Tucker with
this guy.
PJ Tucker with a great defensive play on Spencer Dinwiddie. Again, if you're the Nets, Claxton's an idiot. He would have been there. I don't know, man. Just very dumb, man. Very dumb move by Claxton there. Not that he's a game changer, but if you're Brooklyn, you got to have this game. You got to have this game. Can't get swept.
Yeah, he's done really well versus Embiid, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on. To. I want to save the Cavs Knicks series last. Let's move on to the Bucks Heat here. I'm gonna be completely honest with both of you, and if you want honesty, you need to tune into this show.
Honesty is our best policy.
It is facts. It is. I don't give a fuck about this series. I don't give a shit. The Miami Heat are the most boring fucking team. You thought that this fucking Chicago Miami play-in was going to be bad. The 8 games of it possibly. Sorry, you know what I mean. 7 games of it possibly. These two teams are fucking awful matchups. These are such a boring ass fucking series. Miami took the first game though. Solid. I mean, that's a big. I don't know if it matters in the end, but that's a very solid pickup win there. Dolan, thoughts on this? I don't know. This whole series.
Yeah, I'm sitting here geeking out the whole time because I actually took notes throughout the week of all the series, and I didn't catch every single game, but I at least watched a pretty in-depth recap on YouTube of every game that I missed, with the exception of this series. I literally in my notes, I haven't caught much of this series because the Heat bore the shit out of me. So on the nights that I'm busier, if there's one or two other games, or when there's been one or two other games, I get my shit done during that Bucks and Heat game so I can watch the rest of them. So I haven't watched any of these games live of the two. I've, like I said, I've watched pretty in-depth recaps of both of them. Main takeaways, I'm pretty excited to see Bam Adebayo step up. Averaging 20 a game is what I'd hoped to see from him pretty much all year. I think Bam is so good, but I don't really know what gets in his way of being good every game, but he's just so vastly inconsistent. It's insane. So it's nice to see him rattle off an 18 and a 22 to start the postseason. From Miami side, one of the main things is Max Strus is playing 35 minutes a game. He's averaging 6 fucking points. That man needs to make a damn shot, dude.
Yeah.
They're going to need him bad to win the series, especially if Giannis comes back.
Giannis coming back, right? I mean, is that
maybe?
I guess when Giannis comes back.
Yeah, I mean, that's how boring that series is that we're trying to do anything but talk about it. Dylan, are you indifferent? Do you have different thoughts here about this Miami Heat versus Milwaukee Bucks? Miami's not a real sports city. It's just not, right? I mean, am I talking shit? I feel like what Miami team is.
You just pissed off 11 Marlins fans. What the hell are you doing, man?
That's right, dude. Shout out to those 11 fans, man. Shout out to those 11 fans. I don't know, man. It's not no shots against Miami, to be honest with you. I don't give a shit about this Heat team at all. Jimmy Butler, I like Jimmy, but I mean, I'm not selling tickets, I don't think. And I'm right there with you, dude. Max Strus is a fucking bum this series. Dylan, thoughts on this series, man?
I think the highlight of the series is when Tyler Hero shot a jump shot with a broken hand. That's awesome.
Shout out to him. I don't know why it's taking me that long. Shout out to him. I know that fucking hurt.
Yeah, shout out Tyler Hero. Dude, I thought he made it at first too, but he didn't.
I thought he made it too.
He fell, breaks it. We don't know in the moment, but he's sitting there grimacing. I'm thinking everybody's a bitch nowadays. He's just hurting. Yeah,
his little pinky finger or something. Yeah,
actually. And he's wincing, catches the fucking ball, shoots it, misses, goes in at half. And then I don't know how they diagnosed this quick. At halftime, they said, yeah, dude's got a broken hand. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. This guy busted hand out 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, that is a long fucking time. So if this Heat team do get past Milwaukee, I mean, it's going to be hard without Tyler. You're spot on about Bam, though. I mean, he has been one of the most inconsistent players for me this past year. I just don't. I feel like I watch this guy, or I watch the Heat more on his inconsistent nights than on his solid nights. I don't know, man. I'm just not a big Bam Adebayo guy. And again, Jimmy Butler. Apologies to all you Heat fans. I know that probably sucks. You probably want to have get hype about your team winning the first game, because that's a massive win. Like, that is a solid
big win.
Massive.
Yeah,
that is a big win. It's just, I'm sorry that all 10 of you aren't going to get
out to Sean.
Shout out. Let's move on to I don't know if it's the best series, but it's been my favorite series. This Cavs Knicks series. Donovan Mitchell is a fucking guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's good.
We've been seeing that for quite some time now.
Yeah. Yep. Are the Knicks gonna take it on a run here? Are the Knicks taking it on a run here? I feel like the Knicks have played very well. I mean, I know they got blown out a little bit in that second game, but there was a while there that the Cavs were up by quite a bit. But I feel like this Knicks team could, if they put it together, could be fun. That's it. Philly won.
Yes, sir.
I think I like watching this Knicks team, man. They are one player away. Have to say it every single episode. Have to say it. Hands up, boys. Hands up. Not really, Dylan. Dolan, you hand up, dude.
Oh yeah, Brunson.
Dolan and I absolutely picked on this Jalen Brunson. That's on us.
Yeah,
that's on a lot of you out there listening. Okay, you fucking don't pretend like you listening did not think this Jalen Brunson move to the Knicks was a joke. We all thought it. This dude is a fucking stud.
Love him.
Like actually. If I hate New York, I'd buy this kid's jersey if he was anywhere else. This guy's a fucking stud. Dolan, thoughts on the series?
I could take this in two directions. It's kind of interesting. So, we got a close series. Games have been good. My main thing after game one was like, man, Garland and LeVert were so fucking bad, and Mobley was really bad too. And if you look through like my text message logs, one of my best friends, John Haddon, shout out John Haddon, is a Cavs fan. We talked a lot about game one, and I was so critical of Garland, I was so critical of LeVert, and bam, they stepped the fuck up game two. So tip of the cap to them. Garland was absolutely terrific. LeVert was quite good. As far as the Knicks are concerned, I guess it's almost it's pretty incredible that this is a 1-1 series, I guess, because all of Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickley, and RJ Barrett are all shooting under 40%. Every single one of those guys are. So I think this team is a really high ceiling, but I also think they're really far from putting it all together. And man, we don't have the time to solve issues right now. You got to figure this shit out ASAP. And I think, if there's a sleeper-ish team, I would say they were the 4 or 5 seed. I don't remember which one. I think 4. But if there was a sleeper-ish team, I think it really could be the Knicks here. But it just seems
5.
like they were 5. My bad.
Yeah.
It feels like they're so far away from putting it all together. I think that the depth is there. Obviously, the talent's there, but man, they got to find some efficiency. And I know this Cavs defense is super good, but you can't have your 4 main options all shooting under 40%. It's going to be really hard to win a series that way.
No, exactly. That's what I meant to say earlier, is that, when I said I feel like this Knicks team could absolutely go on a run here, because they've not been shooting well, but Joel Embiid is giving the 3-0 to all the Nets fans. I mean, this guy is such a shit house. I feel like this Knicks team, with how bad they've been shooting, are still playing very well. And if they start putting that together, I don't think this series is very close, surprisingly. But you're spot on, man. Like, LeVert, Garland, and Mobley. I thought Mobley stepped it up the most last game. His defense was fucking unreal. This Cavs team is fucking fun. Dylan, what you thinking, dude?
I think that the Knicks have a lot of talent. I think 2 of my favorite players, like 2 just games I really love to watch. Darius Garland's one of them, and Julius Randle's another one. I love Julius Randle, just the way he plays.
Randle?
I think he just
I did not expect Randle at all.
Dude, I love his game because he's so big. So he drives down and forces all the contact, but then he's also quick, and he shoots like ridiculous, crazy 3-pointers. And so I just think it's such like a pickup type game, and he makes shots. But on that note, I think that the issue with the Knicks is their percentage. So their offense is like not good. Like, they don't swing the ball that well. With the exception of Brunson, he can drive and kick it, but it's like all of Randle is close to 40% 3-point shooter, and all of his threes are like ISO threes. He needs to like set picks and pops and just play. I think he needs to. They need their offense needs to be a little bit better, and that's why their percentage. I mean, RJ Barrett shoots contested threes all the time. I mean, Brunson's got his little mid range, like Chris Paul type jump shots once he gets into the paint, but just think their offense needs to be a little bit better. On Darius Garland, you guys ever notice Darius Garland jump shot, how he bounces after he shoots it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's so sweet for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't remember what podcast he was on, but he was asked about his quick step. None of this matters. He said he's been doing it since he was a kid, and that he talked about other unique things that he does when he's driving to the lane and all that. But yeah, I have. I fucking love Darius Garland.
I like him. He's got such a smooth game, and he's got like such a. I think he's like one of almost with minus on the defensive side, but just an ideal true point guard because he can knock down a three, he can score when he needs to, and he's really good at distributing the ball too. Solid point guard, and obviously Donovan Mitchell is Donovan Mitchell. So.
Yeah. All right. So all right. Let's start from here and go backwards. Dylan, you had Cavs in 6. Do you want to change that?
No, I'll keep that.
Dolan, you had Knicks in 6. You want to change that?
No, I'm set.
I know. I like both of that, man. I had Cavs in 7. I think I'm gonna stay. Dylan, you had Bucks in 4. You keeping that? Obviously, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think they'll pull it off. I have so much faith they'll make it happen.
Pull an upset there.
Yeah.
Dolan and I both had Bucks in 5. I'm sticking with mine. I think Bucks will rattle off 3 here and have no problems and head the fuck on into either Cavs or New York next. Dolan had 76ers in fucking 5. That's awesome. It's looking like a sweep. It's looking like a sweep here for that game. Dylan had 76ers in 5, and so did I. I think we're all looking at a sweep possibly, but we all know what the story is going to be tomorrow morning. Embiid doesn't get kicked out of this game, makes the game saving block that was almost a goaltend. I mean, this is going to be the entire talk tomorrow morning. Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should Embiid have been thrown out, Dylan? I don't know if I've already asked that, but we'll finish it off with that one.
I mean, absolutely. I think especially obviously if it wasn't for the Draymond thing yesterday or the other day, definitely he should have been ejected.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into Draymond when we get to the to Golden State. But Dolan, you think an Embiid should have been thrown out, or you think this guy is a fucking saint?
He could do no wrong. Honestly, it was a dirty play by Claxton. No. I honestly, in hindsight, I actually missed this live. I missed like the first couple minutes of the game. Had I seen it live, I would have been sweating my ass off because I would have thought he would have been ejected.
Yeah, when we texted Dolan and he said, "God damn, this guy makes some dumb moves sometimes." And yeah, he's spot on.
Shout out Embiid though for once they said it was a flagrant 1 for pointing at the back of his jersey. That was so awesome. He was like, "I'm me. They ain't kicking me out. They ain't doing it."
Dylan and I had Celtics in 5. Dolan had Celtics in 6. Dolan, you want to change that?
Nah.
Fair play.
Nah.
Fair play. You're the fucking man. I hope Dolan's spot on. I hope they make that game. Hope they make that series more competitive. Come on, Atlanta. Let's move over to the Western Conference. What do you think, boys?
Yeah, I mean, hell, we got one of these games starting in 3 minutes. This is 10:07 Eastern time on Thursday night. So this Warriors game is about to tip off any moment now.
Which one do you want to start with? Dylan, you pick.
Don't matter to me.
Let's do. I mean, Warriors. Dolan just mentioned it. About to start. Let's do it.
All right, Warriors Kings kicking off game 3 here. We all know the big story going into this. Draymond Green suspended just for this game, right?
Yeah,
just this game. Yeah.
Just this one game. I have an opinion on this, but real quick, round the room. Do you think it was a justified suspension, Dylan?
No, not even close.
Dolan.
It was interesting that they cited their like previous history. And in that sense, I kind of came to respect the suspension. I really wish he wasn't suspended. I definitely prefer that he wasn't, but sometimes you develop a reputation and sometimes you got to pay for that reputation. He's paying for it right now. So I didn't expect them to cite that as a reason why he would be suspended. That completely threw me off guard. So, I don't really think he should have been. No, I definitely didn't want him to be because I want every bit of this series. But it was, I'm not too mad with their reasoning, I guess.
In an isolated moment, I'm on Dylan's side. I don't believe that this was a foul worthy of I don't even know if it was worthy of an ejection, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think you could argue that too, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like we see this shit, quite often, especially Sabonis kind of, pulled his thing. That's truly beside the point. I tuned into the to a Golden State Warriors and Sacramento Kings podcast right after to get boots on the ground reviews of this whole thing. And Golden State obviously pissed off, like obviously pissed off. And then when the league brought up the fact that it's a previous issues have come up with this. The Sacramento Kings podcast, he brought up a very good point that all year long we've been listening and talking about Draymond Green for all the wrong reasons, and the league finally came in and said, "Hey, fucking cut it out." So I do get that. That podcast is Locked on Kings with Matt George. Shout out him. I don't know that guy at all. I just think
well, no, I was just about to say he's a friend of the program. What the fuck are you talking about?
Is it,
A friend of the program.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my
Light
fault.
the
He is
beam.
absolutely 100% like that beam, Matty boy. He is a friend of the program. But yeah, he brought up. I thought it was a very good point that all season long, preseason stuff, knocking Jordan Poole clean out, and then from there on, all this Memphis stuff he brought up. I think the league has said, "Hey, we are fucking sick and tired of." On the flip side, though, I mean, this is a fucking massive call to do that, because this could if the Kings go on and win this thing, I mean, this could very well be the end of this Warriors team as we know it. And you're getting a lot of reports of, Jordan Poole and Kuminga and all these guys. These young guys are pissed off for not getting game time. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you expect when you're playing with Klay Thompson, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
he is. Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt.
So
Basketball Hall of Fame is pretty easy to get into.
100%. I don't know.
I'm in it.
When I thought about it there real quick, for some reason I said no, but he's 100% a Hall of Famer. I don't know. It's massive call to make for this for the NBA to be kicking Draymond Green, a notable name out of this game, because again, Kings go up 3-0. That's interesting. What are your in terms of gameplay? Dolan, what have you been thinking? Has this been an interesting series? I mean, Sacramento's been fucking on it.
Yep. Absolute 100% no brainer. Biggest takeaway here has been the Sacramento defense. And you can go
Shout
back.
out.
Yeah, you can go back and find some quotes out of definitely me and probably all of us saying, our thoughts weren't, we weren't that confident in the Sacramento team because, outscoring guys in the postseason it hasn't really historically been a great way to win games and win series. And that's not really how they're doing it. And they're getting dirty, dude. They're doing what they need to do to slow this offense down. They've kept Steph and Klay in check to a degree. I think that's fair to say. I've been super, super impressed with their defense. I thought that these games would be, they've been pretty high scoring, don't get me wrong, but I thought we were going to see 137, 133 kind of shit. And it just hasn't been that bad. I mean, they've held their own defensively for sure. So that's been my number one thing. Probably my number two, and this is debatable, number two, but Poole in this series has just been an absolute joke. Now, this game is about to tip off any second. I actually kind of like the spot for Poole. This could end up being a game that he redeems himself to a degree, but just what a pathetic series he's had so far. Oh my goodness, he's been so bad.
It's funny you say that, because I thought this is, you're spot on two things. Number one, I went back and listened to our prediction show of what these series would be, and I literally said on there, Kings don't play defense. That period. They're going to lose. That's why, because they don't play defense. They've been fucking balling on defense. Good on them. And then what Malik Monk has been doing is what I thought Jordan Poole would be to this Warriors team, and it has that disrespect on me to Malik Monk. Dylan, first off, I mean, how big of a call is it for this the NBA to be kicking Draymond Green out of this game? And does it really matter? I mean, was he putting the clamps down like that, or is this nothing? We making too big a deal of this?
I think it's a potential big deal because of the stage. I do think, as much as I really do dislike Draymond Green, he is a difference maker on the basketball court. I think that personally the Warriors will rally around it tonight, and I think they get that win. But I do think that the suspension, when you put, with the way Matt George put it, that makes sense. I mean, he's kind of been ridiculous all year, but if you look at all of his past stuff, like he's already had consequences for all that stuff. He got suspended a game in the finals for his technicals. Like he's done his time more or less already. I honestly think the reason he got suspended was obviously I think the reason he got ejected is because he was acting like an idiot trying to egg the crowd on for some reason, acting like a freaking pro wrestler out there, getting them all hype. But I think that's why the refs ejected him. And I think the reason, and obviously the NBA is not going to say this, but I think the reason why he got suspended is because of his press conference. He was just still act like an arrogant idiot, didn't have any remorse, and say he did anything wrong. Blame the referees for it. I just think that when you do things like that and you're disrespectful, things don't work out for you.
Yeah, Adam Silver was at that game as well. He was watching Draymond Green fucking do all that shit. They panned away like for a quick second. I think somebody had to have been like, shit, get away from Adam, because they panned over to Adam Silver and he looked fucking not stoked when Draymond was giving him the fucking
ridiculous
Hulk Hogan hand to the ear, and then it was a quick pan away from Adam there. But
I tell you what. 2 years ago, if you would have told me Sacramento is one of the hardest places to play, I'd be like, what? They have Sacramento fans? But my goodness gracious, dude, that stadium is jumping. It is so awesome to watch. I haven't seen a NBA playoff atmosphere like that. And I don't like using the word electric because it's thrown around a lot, but it's electric. It's electric.
Say, man, that's like me and Michael's like key word in our vocabulary. Is that a diss on air?
Yes,
it sounds like it. Sounds like it.
You guys need a dictionary. Find more vocabularies.
Oof. Fuck a synonym, man. Fuck. I don't need them, baby. Electric is the way to go.
I can't believe that you just disrespected friend of the show Judy on this podcast. She's been a diehard fan for 17 fucking years.
She's been
probably longer.
Care about 17 years of commitment, Dylan?
Yeah,
that's commitment. Nothing to you.
2 years ago, I didn't. Now I have the utmost respect for it.
10-win seasons, selling Tyreek Evans as your best player. What
rookie of the year, Tyreek Evans. Love him.
Rookie of the year, Tyreek
Rodney
Evans.
Stuckey.
Don't
legend.
Stop. Let's stop.
Hey, Jordan Poole scores their first field goal finally.
Yeah. No, it took a couple minutes to get in there, but Harrison Barnes dunking on his former teammates, and
shout out Harry Barnes, dude.
Letting them know he went over to Sacramento, leaving this Golden State team, and I mean, I think he was kind of forced out. I think they knew they're not going to pay this guy, but going over to Sacramento, everybody kind of laughing because it's Sacramento, and now look at him. I mean,
good
solid
man.
piece.
Sorry, go ahead, Michael.
He was North Carolina, wasn't he?
Yeah,
sure. He was one of the biggest high school prospects in probably that decade, and he was almost subpar at UNC. He was okay. He hit some big shots in his career, but overall, he was, I guess you could say, slightly disappointing. He wasn't terrible. He was still pretty damn early picking his draft, but didn't quite live up to expectations. Actually, I mean, he stayed his sophomore year, which you don't really see often out of number one overall prospects. Not even fucking Derek Lively, who did nothing at Duke this year. He's even that jackass is going pro. Although Derek Lively is a friend of the program. Sorry, Derek.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
no disrespect there.
Right. No, but shout out Harrison Barnes, man. I think he's been phenomenal this whole series, man. He's not over here lighting it up or anything, but I just think he's played well. He's played hard. He's been just a great piece of this Sacramento team. Sabonis, a lot of blame that this guy's a dirty player. Where did this come from? I'm not seeing.
This is absurd. Using the ball as a weapon. I want someone who actually thinks that to explain that to me. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
I thought about going back and watching like every second of these games to even try to define what that means, because that comment is over my head. I don't even know what
they're getting big boyed by my man Sabonis. All right,
yeah,
getting big boyed.
You ain't gonna hear hate on Sabonis on this show.
No way, not this show.
Won't. If you're a Sabonis hate, no,
absolute friend.
He's a friend of the program.
He is a friend of the program. He's the header of the Twitter. And if you do not know what the fuck I'm talking about, then you need to head over to that Twitter at the Post Up Boys. Come hang out with myself, Dolan, and Dylan. I don't know what the fuck that quote was. Truly do not know, because
ridiculous.
I've not at no point in time have I thought this guy's ever been a dirty player. Steph Curry's fucking unreal, man. This guy's so good. We are watching a true living legend, man. I hope this guy I hope they
love Steph, dude. Love Steph. What'd you just say? No, we don't want that, but
yeah, we do.
Love Steph.
Yeah, we do. Let's go on to we'll be watching this game as we keep going here, but we'll give you some updates You'll be listening to this. You already know the fucking score, but we'll give you updates live. Let's move on to who they would play: Grizzlies or the Lakers. Dolan, do me a favor. I need you to break down in depth why Austin Reeves is the greatest basketball player to ever lace them the fuck up.
I actually thought he was pretty underwhelming last game.
He was. He wasn't very good.
I'm riding the high of game one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and steal your buzz there. I thought he was disappointing. I thought AD was blocking shots. I give him that. Man, he's got 12 blocks in 2 games, which is fucking insane. But and he was pretty damn good in game 1. But I thought AD was just so damn bad in game 2. And just one of the weirdest trends, I guess you could say, in the NBA right now, and for the past year and a half or so, has been Memphis without Ja Morant. Not even with Ja Morant, but without him. And even our guy Colin Cowherd, who has one of the most famous quotes between the trio of us of he was talking about Ben Simmons back in 2016. He said, LeBron, you can tire. We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good here.
I had to shout out Colin Cowherd real quick, but I mean, he was basically saying, and I saw quotes. I didn't listen to his shit because I don't really do that, but he was basically saying they're a better team without Ja. I don't know if I'd take it quite so far. However, man, I mean, this trend's pretty serious. I mean, we've been seeing them win a lot of games at a very high clip without him for what seems like 2 years now. So, it's something that makes you think a little bit. I'd rather chalk it up to some really good depth rather than being a better team without Ja. I think we'll really find out later in the postseason, especially if Ja continues to deal with this hand injury. If they want to make real noise, I have no doubt they're going to need him. But it has been very interesting for a long time that how well this team plays when he does not play.
Yeah, I want to jump in there real quick because that was actually part of my talking point, was that they have been so well without John. And people are talking about it now, but we have been seeing this for the past couple of years, that this team is actually decent and a winning team when Ja's not around. Now, I think I'm right there with you. I didn't see that Colin Cowherd take. Don't need to. Colin Cowherd, not a friend of the show. Guy's got fucking miserable takes since leaving ESPN. If you want to come on though, Colin, you're more than welcome, dude. Yeah, exactly. I used to love the Herd back in the day when it was on ESPN. Regardless, I think that these takes of you don't need Ja, are a bit ridiculous. I mean, you're definitely going to need Ja going down the stretch there, but they have. I mean, they had that long stretch out, without him when he was, just suspended or whatever the fuck it was for taking going to the stretch. Not mad at you, Ja. Not mad at you. We said it a million times. We're absolutely not mad at you at all. Do your thing, buddy. Have some fun. I mean, it's probably. You give me $250 million at 20 years old.
I'd be so fucked,
be awesome.
Dude.
There's a lot of people that would hate me, so I can't be mad at this kid at all. I mean, I just can't. But I don't think. I think it's naive to think that you don't need this guy going down the stretch. You absolutely will. Why? We've heard the greatest take of all time. Dylan, do you know what I'm talking about?
Refresh my memory. I'm not sure.
You only get respect from Dylan Brooks if you drop 40. Not 31, not 32.
Let me talk Dylan Brooks for a second.
Oh, yeah.
I love this guy.
He's not fucking around either.
I love him. So this is why I like him. There's no more villains in the NBA, with the exception of Draymond. Dolan, you and I could talk about this. One of the biggest rivalries in today's NBA is Sixers Celtics, and Embiid and Tatum are best friends. Ridiculous. Hate that. We need to hate each other. Okay. Just like I hate you. Okay. We need to hate each other.
Exactly. It's a fact.
So Dylan Brooks is out here creating enemies, and I love it. And I think that with the exception of LeBron, the Lakers are freaking soft and cannot play with the freaking boys in Memphis. And I think that's they needed Austin Reeves to score 9 straight points for them to win their game 1. That's not going to happen again. They needed Rui Hachimura to go 5 from 8 from 3.
Yeah, dude.
That ain't happening again.
That's not happening again. Memphis is going to win for sure. And it's because Dylan Brooks is the GOAT. He's a GOAT.
Damn.
He's a GOAT. Love this guy.
These are some words, man. This is crazy. Who did we all have in this series? So Dylan, you had Memphis in 6. So shout out to you. Michael had Lakers in 6. And myself, I don't even remember. I had Grizz in 6. That's right.
Dylan's initials are DB, Dylan Bond. So they sent this, that picture of Brooks with his sunglasses on inside, and this DB
tough,
chain.
dude.
Dylan said, "Got to give me one of them fucking chains." Dylan's not kidding around. He actually does love Dylan Brooks. I'm gonna
Dylan sticking up for Dylan's, man.
Dude, I love it, dude. I love this villain atmosphere. Let's go back to the 90s.
Hold on.
Basketball. Create enemies, man.
I'm actually gonna back both of these Dylans. I love it. Love
Let's
it.
Do it, dude. Let's do it.
I think there's too much buddying around in sports today. I think we do need villains. I wish Dylan Brooks was a better basketball player when he was talking all this shit, if I'm honest with you.
It almost makes it better, but
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's very Pat Beverly-like. Like
it's very Lance Stevenson-like, for a quick moment.
Even better comparison.
You like that? For a quick, Dylan just blew into the microphone and exploded my ears.
Just like Lance did LeBron. You're welcome.
Oh, that's fair. I got you. I thought you were getting hype on my take. I got what you're doing now. No, man, I think that's a very Lance. This is a very Lance Stevenson move. Hopefully, this guy lasts more than 2 fucking years that Lance Stevenson was at his hype, and then does like a reunion tour for like 3 fucking games when he comes back to Memphis. But I fucking love it. I fucking love the fact that this guy's being an absolute dickhead. That's all he's doing. He's just being such a douchebag. I don't respect LeBron. He old. I don't respect nobody unless they give me 40 points.
That's awesome.
Shut the fuck up. What audacity does Dylan Brooks have? I mean, this just adds on to the why everybody hates Memphis, because they act like they've won something and they have not won a fucking thing. It's
not a damn thing.
I loved it. Let's move on because
that's funny. That's good stuff, fellas. That's good stuff.
let's move on to this Nuggets T-Wolves series here. Hilariously, I said this T-Wolves team. Not me. I'm sorry. I did not say, but people said that this T-Wolves team could be fucking, go on a run and do something. I thought they would be better than this, to be honest with you. Shout out Jamal Murray. We doing that?
Love it.
I would love to.
Guy turns it on in the playoffs. Go ahead, Dolman. Shout out Jamal Murray here. Shout anybody else for Denver we're trying to shout out. I would not want to be 3 teams in the league I do not want to be a fan of. Chicago's number 1, Miami's number 2, Minnesota's right behind it. Like those 3 teams could just have no interest at all. You're gonna get a lot for Cat. Nobody is taking that Rudy Gobert contract off your hands. It's not I don't know. This weird one. Shout out Jamal Murray. What do you think, Dolan?
Yeah, I mean, number one thing I had written down for this series is, I before I got really big into what I do now, whatever the hell you want to call that, I was a physical therapy assistant. So I really feel for these guys that tear their ACLs, maybe a little bit more than others. I feel terrible for these guys when this shit happens, and I can't say I worry about their careers, especially guys that aren't on like the Sixers, but there's somewhat concern. So what I really enjoy seeing is when guys come back from these injuries and they're just as good, if not better. And, I'll never forget Bubble Murray, dude. Bubble Murray was something fucking else. And we're basically seeing that, he's revitalized, man. He's back. And, he's pretty much the number 1 option. Of course, we're only through 2 games, but Jokic he hasn't really needed to be aggressive, because Jamal, he's like, here, I got this, at least for now. I'm sure we'll see plenty of Jokic master classes. But Jamal averaging 32 through these 2 games has just been really, really cool to see. When the lights get bright, this man has stepped up already so far this year. He's done it in the past as well, unlike Jason Tatum, who really puts the tail between his legs when the lights get bright. So I love guys that do that. I'm going to move on to my next topic. Just how fucking now, we could trash Gobert and that's fine. That's warranted. The trade was atrocious, but how fucking pathetic is probably the best word I can think about what I've watched from Karl-Anthony Towns in 2 games. This man
minus 13 over 2 games.
He's averaging less points than Kyle Anderson and Mike Conley right now through 2 games. He has been the most pathetic player of this postseason. And I know that's a strong word to use, but I can't think of a better one. If you guys have a better one, feel free to let me know. Pathetic is what?
Joel Embiid.
Just banter for banter. No, Kat, you're right, Dolan. You're right. I mean, this is bad. This is why Butler wanted to leave Minnesota.
Yeah.
This is exactly why he wanted out. At the time, I remember kind of trashing Butler. It's just like, what the fuck have you won? But wow, did we get it? I mean, Wiggins was also on that team at the time. I wonder if any of that was even directed at Wiggins. This could have been all pointed at Cat. This has just been an absolute embarrassment. I can't describe how much I've hated watching him play basketball in those 2 games.
You're getting done by Aaron fucking Gordon because he's not guarding Jokic. He's barely guarding Jokic, and he's barely being guarded by Jokic. This guy has been fucking abysmal. I mean, he's just been so fucking bad.
That's class word right there.
Yeah,
We like that.
Yeah, atrocious. Shout out Nate McCullen.
Yeah.
Shout out Patty. Dylan, thoughts on this? Thoughts on this game?
I mean, Dolan pretty much summed it up. I got a shout out to Anthony Edwards for finally making some big shots in the playoffs. Like we kind of, us as a podcast, all kind of labeled him as a dog to ready to play in big games, and he kind of has been disappointed for the first couple. Even when they won the second play-in game, he didn't really play that great. Game 1 wasn't great, but dropped 41 yesterday.
That's exactly right.
So that was a shout out to him. He's hitting some good buckets too. When he is going, he is a fun basketball player to watch. So
yeah.
Shout out Anthony Edwards for that one. But I mean, Jamal Murray, he was hitting some tough shots too. I mean, like you said, when Bubble Murray was a freaking stud.
Absurd, man.
So I just and I was one of the reasons why I had Nuggets going to the finals is because I was hoping to see that again. And looks like I'm right. They're going to the finals. Book it.
That's right. They're up 2-0 on the 8 seed.
That's right. Yeah. Give me that steak dinner, Michael. It's done.
That's hilarious. I don't know. It's a weird one for me with this T-Wolves team, man. I'm not a big fan of this T-Wolves team. I still don't rate this Nuggets team at all. But if Murray keeps going the way he's going, and if Michael Porter Jr. keeps, being a great squad player the way that he's been, I think this team can do some damage. But they'll lose next round, and they will not make it to the Western Conference Finals. And I will be eating so fucking good on Dylan's dime. Let's move on to that Suns Clippers series. Russell fucking Westbrook was the fucking man. Game 1.
Brody.
If you don't know, you need to know. Big time Russell Westbrook fan is Michael Willis. I fucking love this guy. Don't think he gets enough respect in the league. Feel genuinely bad for him for how I don't know, he gets trashed for no fucking reason sometimes. I fucking love this guy. I've doubled down on the Clippers. That was my preseason pick to win it all. Kawhi Leonard pisses me the fuck off. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Dylan, what do you think about this? What do you think about this series, man? What do you think about the Suns? I should talk about the Suns more. I mean, KD and Devin. How good is Devin Booker, Dylan?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, obviously, Kevin Durant. It's crazy how well he can score whenever he wants to. And like this man could average 40 if he went out there and shot 30 shots a game. He's so efficient, and it doesn't even make any sense. And then, I mean, Devin Booker, he's actually been distributing the ball well. And I mean, Chris Paul hit some big shots last game. I mean, the Suns are a good team, man. They're mid-range shots. Everyone in that starting lineup, with the exception of their small forward, who I get a Kogi. I get a Koro and a Kogi mixed up all the time for Cleveland. But they just knock down. I mean, Ayton hits those mid-range shots in the paint. They just hit those shots, man. And their offense is really fun to watch. But I really like seeing Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, dude. That dude can score too, and like watching him. Dolan, have you ever seen Kawhi Leonard make any big shots in the playoffs? Just
good
freshman.
Lord, I hate doing the show with you guys.
I don't think I have.
I can't recall. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I have. I got one.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, just Kawhi Leonard, I mean, 35 the first game, 31 the second game. Like, that dude, he hits some good, and he's efficient too. And then we got to talk about Westbrook. Westbrook's defense, I don't even want to talk about his offense game too. His defense in game 1 was a sight to see. Freaking clamping up KD. That was just awesome. It was so awesome. And I don't know if it's because of their history, just because of how Westbrook like portrays himself or whatever. But dude, that was just so awesome to see.
Do these two guys hate each other?
I don't think so.
No, they were dapped up and hugged after game 1 or 2.
Yeah, they were talking during the game though. They were definitely. It seemed like they hate each other during the game. Love that.
Which is good. We like that. Yeah. We want that. Yeah.
Dolan, what are your thoughts about this series?
I think One of the things that sticks out to me is Booker playing 44 minutes a game so far. I don't know if I think this is a team out west that could truly make a run. I'm not, obviously it's not a very bold take by any means, but
What a
I don't.
take, Dolan.
Yeah, I know, right? Sorry. But I think they got to find a way to get him some rest, and get KD some more rest as well. 44 minutes a game is a lot. We're in round one. It's too. It feels too early, but I mean, I understand you got to win the games. But and we're a couple minutes away from the tip off. Without Kawhi, maybe this will be his chance to kind of get some rest. This very well may solve what I think could end up being a problem if they get out. They get up big early and he gets some form of rest. But 44 minutes a game in the postseason, even in the postseason, is crazy. But on the Clippers side, I had very
Do
similar.
you know who they're
sentiment.
starting?
Clippers?
Yeah, instead of Kawhi.
Probably Terrence Mann. I know. I saw that Covington and Marcus Morris will be back in the rotation for tonight. They started Russell Westbrook, Eric Gordon, Norman Powell, Nicholas Batum,
Norman Powell.
Rebecca Zubac.
Norman Powell scores 25 plus tonight. Book it.
I would not be surprised at all. But I'll give Russ his props as well. I'm a little bit less of a fan than you guys, it appears, but I have no hatred for the guy, and I don't quite understand why he gets so much, but man, he's been so good. Even that first game he shot so bad, it was hard to even notice because he was just everywhere. He was doing all the right things. He was grabbing huge offensive rebounds. He was holding his own against Durant. I had Durant's over in that game, and he was sweating balls because Durant had 0 in the first and third quarter. But that just shows you how good Durant is. He still fucking went over his points. Russ has been awesome. But main takeaway as far as tonight is concerned, and I don't know what Kawhi is going through right now. I'm gonna just assume it's a bad enough injury that he has to miss this game. But damn, how do you miss this game, dude?
Yeah.
How do you miss this game? I don't know.
Massive game.
I mean, there's just levels of injuries that are just too bad you truly can't play. I get it. But man, how do you miss this game?
Yeah. I think it's hard, right? Because you sit back and maybe as the human side, you're like, yeah, man, that fucking sucks. You're going through all these injuries. As a fan side, you're like, God damn, what a bitch, man. All right, let me run through these all real quick. Dylan, you had Warriors in 6. You want to change that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna obviously hold me accountable for that, but if I had to guess, Kings in 7.
Dolan, you had Warriors in 7. You want to change that?
Nah, I'm feeling pretty good about that, honestly.
You want a good laugh?
Yeah. Oh, I already know. I've been laughing about it for a couple days now.
Michael had Warriors in 4.
You got to stop with the third person shit, man. Nobody knows nobody knows Michael's talking.
It's very true.
You got to say I. Use
I.
Use first person. I had Warriors in 4. Michael Willis had Warriors in 4. Don't look so hot.
That's right. I had Warriors in 4. Dylan, you had Memphis in 6. You feeling pretty confident about that?
Yep.
Dolan had Grizzlies in 6 as well.
Yep.
I had Lakers in 6.
I'm gonna stand by it.
I think the smart move would be to change for me. I do think Memphis is going to come out of that series for all the reasons that one of Dolan or Dylan said is that what Dylan said. This team is soft outside of LeBron. You don't know what you're going to get for Anthony Davis anymore. And you are not going to be getting career nights on the regular from some of these guys. Dylan had Nuggets in 5. I had Nuggets in 7. Dolan had Nuggets in 6. I'm going to stay.
Yeah, I'm staying.
Nuggets in 7. Dylan said 5. I said 6. I could definitely see Nuggets in 5 here. Although I will say perhaps, maybe, just maybe that Minnesota was looking like it was going to be a blowout last game. They ended up making it somewhat of a game. Even took the lead at one point. So maybe they gave themselves at least something to build off of traveling back to Minnesota. So I'm not Denver. I'll stick with my Denver in 6, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to see Minnesota winning games, but at least they gave themselves something. At least they didn't get blown the fuck out twice in a row. So
need Cat to step up, and that's the only way Minnesota gets back into this. For some reason, I don't have what we wrote down for this Clippers Suns series.
Me neither.
I don't know why.
I don't think we gave predictions, to be honest with you. I think that was the series we started on, and I don't know if we knew at the time that we were going to go ahead, in depth give
on the fly. This is on the fly podcast here. I mean, I like the Clippers. I think we did give because I doubled down. I like the Clippers to win that series. Dylan, you got Phoenix, you got Clippers going forward.
With the Kawhi, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have foreseen the Kawhi injury. I'll probably have to say Phoenix
as of right
6. Yeah, Phoenix and 6.
Dolan, what do you got? You got Phoenix?
Phoenix and 6 sounds good.
All right,
let's go Clippers though.
A lot going on Eastern Western Conference. We're gonna have a fucking packed show because by this time next week we should know maybe who's in and who's out for a lot of these games. If it keeps going the way it is, we're gonna have a couple.
We'll probably have a Sixers Celtics series to talk about. That's for sure.
Yeah, probably.
We absolutely will. We will definitely have next round stuff to talk about by this time next week. A lot of shit going on as of right now. The fucking Warriors are buzzing, but we're going to move on to the 5th annual.
I think it's the fourth technically because we didn't do it in the first game.
Annual Post Up Parlay. Dylan, you're going to take the first game. What do you got, man?
All right, I got the Celtics game. I'm going to go Derek White over 19.5 points and assists. Right, Dylan?
19.5 minus 122 on FanDuel Sportsbook.
Yeah. Derek White points and assists over.
Dolan, what do you got going on?
Good deal. I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson over 24.5 points. It's minus 104 on FanDuel Sportsbook. I really like the volume that he's getting, and he's just been efficient his entire career. So I don't buy into the under 40% in this so far in this series. I think he definitely I think he has an explosion game coming up very soon. I think Game 3 there's a damn good chance it's Game 3.
Absolutely love that. I've got the last game of the night, Denver at Minnesota. I'm going to take Michael Porter Jr. over 5.5 boards. Hit last game. Let's sweat this one out again. Dolan, what if we cook all that up together, what are we sitting at?
We got plus 535 on FanDuel Sportsbook with those three things parlayed. So this is, what is this? The 4th Post Up Parlay, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 0 for 3. Pretty good.
Yeah. Time to get going, boys.
We'll start getting. Yeah, it's no better time than right now. We'll start getting this thing together.
Yeah, the most dangerous gambler in the world is somebody who's due. So that's us right now.
God, you either hot or you do, and we are fucking due.
We are fucking due, baby.
All right. So a quick recap: Dylan had
Derek White over points and assists 19.5.
Dolan had
Jalen Brunson over 24.5 points,
and I had Michael Porter Jr. over 5.5 boards. Before we close this out, let's play a good game of this or that. If you, we highly encourage involvement in this. Get with us on Twitter at the Post Up Boys. Let us know what you think about a couple of these questions that Dolan's about to present. A couple fun things we do at the end of each show. Dolan, go ahead, buddy.
All right, I'm going to start off with a really, really funky one that's going to be kind of hard to answer, especially more so for Dylan. I'm going to take it from a different perspective, at least for this initial one. This is at the end of their career when they both retire, and one will retire much later than the other. Who's going to have a better career when it's all said and done? Kawhi Leonard or Jason Tatum?
I'll go first. I'll go first.
You go ahead.
First. When it's all said and done, right now Tatum has the option. It's not the option. He's going to be the face of this. Is the face of this Boston team. Kawhi could have been the new San Antonio, taking over for Timmy Duncan and all those boys. Goes off to Toronto, wins a fucking chip. It's hard, right? Because then he goes off to the Clippers and he becomes the poster boy for load management.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go Tatum. It's weird though, right? That's a better question for Dylan, because if Tatum doesn't win a ring, right? And Kawhi goes off to Toronto and does what he did with it. Do not get this twisted. Kawhi balled the fuck out when he was in Toronto. But he goes to the Clippers and he's become the face. Injury's been a part of that. I don't know. That is a tough question. I am gonna go Kawhi only because right now he's got a ring. He's got 2 rings.
He's got 2.
He's got 2 rings.
Tatum's got quite a bit of catching up to do, but
3 rings for Kawhi.
2. He has 2.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We can
I'm
double
sad
check.
we have to double check this. I thought 2 with no questions. That yeah, he has 2. 2014, 2019.
Okay.
Sorry, we had to
Thought so.
confirm.
I'm going to go Kawhi right now because Kawhi has 2 chips. One of them, defensive player. It was MVP of that series, I feel like,
Yeah,
for
he
San
was.
Antonio.
Yeah, he has 2 MVP, Super Bowl
Yeah.
MVPs.
Yeah,
two,
I'm
two
gonna
Super Bowl MVPs. That's right.
2 Super Bowl MVPs.
Stand by that.
I'm going to go with Kawhi Leonard on this one. Yeah, I still, Jason Tatum's ceiling is so fucking high, though, but I'm going to go Kawhi right now.
So I think that when it's all said and done, Tatum's going to have more points scored. Tatum's going to have more All-Stars. Tatum has a better chance of winning MVP. I would be awesome to see him win 2 championships as a Celtics fan. But I do think that the sheer fact Kawhi Leonard just isn't going to be on the court as much as Tatum is going to be in his career. Obviously, you can't see what's going to happen, but I think that Tatum, being someone who played heavy minutes, was almost like a number one, close to it. He wasn't number one option, but he was a top scoring option right when he came into the league. I think when it comes to, with the exception of the championships, I think Tatum's going to beat him in every other stat. So, and I'm hoping that Tatum gets championships. So I will go Tatum will have a better career.
Yeah, good deal.
And I wanted to go Kawhi. I really did, but Michael went Kawhi, and I think there's an argument for both. So I was going to pull one side, but I do think that Tatum, he's still so young. He's got so much growing to do. And I mean, the Celtics, I really hope win some championships, but even if they don't, he's going to be an all-star every year until he retires unless something crazy happens. So I think he'll have more.
Gotta win a chip to I don't know. I feel like you have to win a chip if you're gonna take over Kawhi's spot right now. But solid question.
Yeah. All right. The next 2 are more just they're just now. Sorry, I'm struggling to figure out what I'm trying to say. Different perspective. Just who would you rather, I guess, build a team around rather than who's going to be better at the end of their career. So more of a more natural question to what we've been doing with this segment. But I'm going to go with De'Aaron Fox or Drew Holiday.
Right now? This is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go first, Michael. I'll go De'Aaron Fox. Drew Holiday is, I've been hearing it all year, the most underrated player in the league. He is ridiculous. So good on both sides of the ball. But he's been in the league, 11 years? So
something like that. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So, and what he does on the court is insane. I can't take anything away from him. But right now, De'Aaron Fox is just won Clutch Player of the Year. First ever person to do that. How many clutch players does Drew Holiday have? 0. So,
not
wrong.
Yeah. So I'll go De'Aaron Fox. I think that, I think he's only going to get better. I think we are at Drew Holiday's ceiling right now. So
that's fair.
I'm gonna go the exact opposite. I fucking love Drew Holiday. I believe this. I agree with this hype that Drew Holiday is one of the most underrated players in the league. Does it on both sides of the ball. And when I look around the league, if I'm building a team right now with the current players in this league, not made up players, you're not adding Kobe and Carmelo into one person. If you look around the league, I think that you can build. Of course, you could build a title winning roster with De'Aaron Fox at the helm, but I think I can get more. And be far more effective with Drew Holiday playing that defense and giving you actual buckets. Like, people think he's just a defensive guy. He's not. He's a phenomenal defensive player, but he can give you legit buckets every single night. I fucking love Drew Holiday, man. Sixers legend.
The man that was shipped off to create the tank, man.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I'm gonna go Drew Holiday because I know that I could build. I feel like I would be able to build a much better team. To you give me a team of we'll say Hall of Famers. 2 teams of Hall of Famers, and those 2 teams being led by Drew Holiday and De'Aaron Fox. I'm taking the team with Drew Holiday almost every single time. I fucking love Drew Holiday.
Good deal. All right, this one I think will be a really fun debate. Coming into the season, it may not have seemed like much, but now I think it's a terrific debate. Mikal Bridges or Anthony Edwards?
Oh,
that's a good one.
I'm taking this all day long. Anthony Edwards is never the answer here. Anthony Edwards cares about his movie career. Anthony Edwards
great
doesn't
movie.
Genuinely
Great movie.
Never seen it. Shout out. That's
Please
awesome.
watch it.
That's
what movie?
not a.
Who knows it?
Hustle on Netflix
Oh
with
yeah,
Juancho
yeah.
Hernan Gomez.
It was a
So
pretty good
good.
movie. Too much Philly in it, but it was still pretty good.
I fucking love that movie.
I don't. I think.
I
I
love
think
Adam
the
Sandler. That's a dude right there. Adam Sandler,
eight
living the dream.
Friend of the
shout out
program.
shredded program. Shout out 8 Crazy Nights. That's a
Oh
fucking
God.
classic. No, I'm gonna Anthony Edwards cares a whole hell of a lot about his movie career. I don't think this guy actually genuinely loves basketball, and
He
that's
said
such
that
a.
out loud.
Is that correct?
He said that maybe before the
Right
draft or
before he got
maybe
drafted,
after the
yeah,
draft.
he did.
Yeah. He said he pulled an who was it? Anthony Rendon in baseball. He was like, yeah, I don't really care about baseball. But yeah,
love that.
Ant said he doesn't really love basketball.
I genuinely, I don't know if that just got put out in the universe and that's just kind of
Mhm.
how I picked up on it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's, that's the star sign shit. We are big star sign people here, but I don't know how I feel about, Anthony Edwards. Not, I did not know that Anthony Edwards had said that before, but it feels like Anthony doesn't genuinely give a shit about basketball, and all the stuff that you hear out of Minnesota is that this guy is a fucking guy, but he doesn't take it as seriously as he wants to. I think Mikal Bridges is looking at himself like, hey, I am a fucking number one. The difference here, and I think the debate will be, and maybe Dylan will bring this up, that Ant is an actual number one right now. Like, is looking more like a number one right now. I think we know that Bridges is not a title winning number one. Could be, but he's more of a number two guy. But I fucking give me Bridges all fucking day, man. I love this guy so much.
Nice.
So, Michael, I also love Michael Bridges, but I'm going to disagree with you. And I'm pretty much disagreeing with you for the same reason why you went LaMelo over Anthony Edwards. I think that Ant, to me, has more of a star mentality, where I think he's more of I think I see Michael Bridges almost as like a very mellow personality. I think Anthony Edwards is more like a leader, more vocal leader. And I think when we're looking at him saying he was probably 18 years old when he said he didn't love basketball. How many things did you say in me when you were 18, Michael? Probably
All of them, every single one of them.
That's right.
Every single thing I ever said, I meant 100%
Yeah.
when I was 18.
So I mean, I'll play that card, but I think that Anthony Edwards is going. I think the way he plays, it's more of like a star in today's NBA. So I think I could see that more. But Michael Bridges' defense is on another level, so I will give him that. But I see Anthony Edwards being as like, this is my team. He's got more of the Kobe mentality than Michael Bridges. Let's put it that way, the Mamba mentality.
Fair enough.
I think he can.
I would
carry a
love to
team
see
more.
both of these. Would love to see both these guys on the same team. I think that team would be fucking electric.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be fun.
That would be.
That would be fun. All right, I got one more question for you guys, and then I believe we can wrap up from there. This is from a team perspective rather than a player versus a player. And I had to get a question like this in. Would you rather your team lose in the second round of the playoffs or be guaranteed a top 8 pick in the draft?
Oh, this is a classic Ryan Dolan question. This is a classic Ryan Props question. I promise you, every time he's got the option to get the top 8 pick in the draft, he is diving. Is the question? Repeat the question again.
Would you rather your team lose in the second round of the postseason or be guaranteed a top 8 selection in the draft?
For just 1 year, right? This is not like every single.
Yeah.
All right. Give me. I am so fucking tired of tanking.
I bet you are after watching the Pistons tank their fucking ass off.
I am a Pistons fan. I am a Red Wings fan. I am a Tigers fan, and I am a Lions fan.
Tigers aren't even tanking. That team just fucking blows.
Hilariously, a year ago, Chris Illich said, "Hey, we're done with this fucking tank." We went full Colin Cowherd. Hey, we're done fucking tanking. We've been tanking. We're done. So I'm. This is coming from a pure bias here. Give me second round of the playoffs exit because I know, because that's what the Pistons will be next year, and we'll have a lot to grow off of after that. A couple All-Stars, a couple Hall of Famers, a couple of the greatest players of all times, possibly. Give me the second round of the playoff exit, because if you get the top 8th pick, right, and I think a lot of people sleep on. I think a lot of people think that you get this lottery and you project. Dolan and I have millions of text of all the bums that have gone top 8. I mean, we went on a whole tangent this year about Killian Hayes at 7. I might need to do this. I might need to pull this list out. You would be fucking stunned how many guys got picked at 7 that didn't even make it 2 years, and you just forget about them entirely.
Like Steph Curry.
No, for sure. No, for sure. You got one of those. You've got one of those guys there, but the rest of these, and Steph Curry shouldn't have gone 7. He shouldn't. Absolutely, like that. He's
Shout out Johnny Flynn.
Shout out Johnny Flynn. He should
Ricky
not have
Rubio.
gone 7.
And Blake Griffin.
If I bring up the number 7 overall pick, you would be fucking. If I told you that Killian Hayes was a top 5 7th overall pick, you wouldn't believe me. But when I read this list off, you'd be like, "Oh my fuck, you might be fucking right."
No,
Fuck
he's,
a pick,
he's not right,
dude.
but I see what you're getting
Spot
at.
on.
Right.
I'm
right.
spot on. I'm spot on.
Killian Hayes is like one of the worst players in the NBA, but that's fine.
There was 2 months there where he was a fucking absolute stud. Give me this guy off the bench all day long. I can talk about that. Don't need to. Dylan, go ahead.
I gotta go. I mean, I pretty much agree with you, Michael. And I think that if one thing that you look forward to every single year is you look forward to watching your team go further, So you get to, one, you make it to the second round of playoffs, you get to watch your team longer. And 2, that whole year, if you're a playoff team, you have anticipation or at least hopes of potentially competing in a championship. And then there's people like Michael who are going to have number 1 overall pick and still delusional, thinking that they're going to compete for a championship. But I think
thinking. I know it.
Yeah, delusional. I think that the sheer thought of going into a season thinking this could be our year, we have a chance, rather than going into it like, hey, we might get a top 8 pick. Awesome, let's go. That's why I would pick it. Just it gives you more of an intention and makes watching your team more entertaining all year long.
Yeah. Overall, I actually do agree. I would rather lose in the second round. Unfortunately, I'm quite familiar with both losing in the second round and having top picks. So, decent guy to give my perspective, I suppose. But it is nice, like you said, coming into the year and knowing maybe there's a shot. It definitely is quite nice, and you get to watch them for longer. And I'm a big believer in taking your playoff lumps. We don't really see too many teams kind of come into the postseason for the first time and win. It's a fairly rare thing. So I'm all for the 24, 25-year-olds getting in the postseason, getting their fucking ass kicked, and then getting into a gym for a full summer and really, grinding and bringing their game to its full potential. So, and I think a second round exit is something that can really push a player to do that sort of thing. So I'll joke around about that a lot, but I do, of course, believe that a second round exit is a better thing. Better result.
You're spot on. Look at. I mean, there's a million instances, but look at this Warriors team. You know what I mean? They came.
Warriors took their playoff lumps.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what we were. That's what Dolan and I.
Dylan, they were 8 seed 2 years in a row under the coach Mark Jackson, right?
Mark Jackson. Yep. Is that David Lee days, man? David Lee at power forward. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
I like David Lee. He was good. He was good in 2K, man.
Monte Ellis. Monte Ellis, my guy.
Solid fucking show today, boys. I'm taking over this or that next week. I've got 2 bangers. Was about to jump in and say it today, but we'll save it for next week because this show's gotten a bit long. I've got 2 absolute bangers. Tune in for that. Tune in for the Post Up Parlay as well next week because we're gonna be making some money soon. Solid show, fellas. I fucking love doing this every fucking week. I love it. Absolutely love it. Plug the show. Dolan, where can the people find you at?
On Twitter, Ryan Props. Props ends in a Z. Give me a follow if you don't already.
D. Lon, where can the people find you at?
You can find me at Dillbond00 with no Z on Twitter. Freaking Sabonis out here using the ball as a weapon with 14 boards in the first half. Come on, Sabonis.
Fuck, good on him, man. You can find me at Carefree Willis on Twitter. Go follow the show at the Post Up Boys. No Z, just an S at the end there. Come hang out with us on the socials. Solid time. Celtics fans, go follow Dylan so he's got more Celtics fans to talk to. Hopefully, see everybody next week. Appreciate everybody for listening. It's been fucking awesome having everybody tune in and get involved over on Twitter with us. Need more people to get involved. Hit the subscribe button for this show. Leave us a review. Takes you probably 3 seconds of your entire life. And every time that somebody leaves a review, Dylan will send you feet pics. Thank you all next week. We'll see you guys. Thank you all next week. Fuck, I fucked that up big time. Thank you all so much. I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.